yeah, the character development I just thought was the character. For her to just be able to survive. The character development I just thought was unrealistic, or the feats that the characters were able to achieve. That being the main character, the 12-year-old child, and then the mother, because she's delusional or in a feverish state, but then she was able to survive on the mainland when there's zombies everywhere.
And like introduction of characters and then kind of drop off, but then like that, as you say, certain things happening and then characters either killed off or like different parts not developed enough.
Yeah.
So say like at the beginning it opens to a boy in a house with all these kids and they're all murdered basically by the zombies except for him, and he runs off and finds his father who's a vicar. The vicar seems a bit mad, but he was a prominent like a prominent thing in the film, in the trailer. Remember the vicar? And he was like, "My children!"
Yeah.
He was like a big part of the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now that was done like straight away. So he was.
Yeah.
And then that kid, at the beginning, I kind of obviously didn't, but like that child was introduced at the beginning. And then it goes to Aaron Taylor Johnson, so you assume that's him.
But that's why I said that to you in the cinema.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson 28 years later
Yeah.
when he's grown up.
Yeah. And then it wasn't. Now, people probably copped with the name. I don't know if the name was said at the beginning. It was. Remember, he had the little cross or the little thing. So if you had a cop, I don't think it's the same name.
Possibly not.
But then you might have changed your name over the years, whatever. So then that's fine. And then, so you've got Aaron Taylor Johnson, and then you have the child. And then like the side character of like the old man that's looking after the mother, and the son's not there.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be a trilogy, so I don't know whether.
But I hate that baiting you that you have to be here for the trilogy.
Yeah, also
just make a good movie.
Yeah. And like that, Jodie Comer spends the first half of the fucking film in the bed.
Yeah.
And first half of the film in the bed. And then, as you said, goes to the mainland and like it's fine.
Is able to survive, yeah. She has a headache and needs aspirin.
Yeah.
That's about the height of it.
And then there's like a big development of the father character and what's going on with his life. And obviously what he's gone through, and then he's real hardened, but then you don't know why he's hardened, but you assume that maybe the character at the beginning is the reason why he's hardened.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, where's his kind of background thing?
But like you said as well, the Aaron Taylor Johnson is front and centre. He's the main character until halfway through the movie, and then they just sideline him.
Yeah.
And then it's Jodie Comer takes the limelight. Well,
yeah.
I think the young child does, but she's the other adult in it.
I think they should have killed off Taylor Johnson's character.
Yeah, something.
But then I suppose that links back later on. Yeah, I suppose it links back at the end because Aaron Taylor Johnson's still in the commune, probably wondering.
Yeah.
What's, you know what I mean? So there is that kind of link back to the commune, whereas if the father is dead and the child goes out, people were kind of like, well, once you're out there, you're out there. You're on your own if you get lost out there.
Yeah.
Or bad happens. So maybe he's the link. He's the link, obviously, to keep that going for the rest of the trilogy.
Another thing I found unbelievable was the emotional consistency. So the boy loves his mother, even though his mother is very sick and very confused. Will risk everything. So she needs a doctor. There's no doctor on the island. Finds out that there's a doctor who's gone rogue and sort of it's just
batshit.
Yeah, just off the rails. He burning all the bodies that he finds. But way back when he was a GP, so he spots his the father says that that's his campfire off in the distance. So then they go back to the island, and he makes it his mission to take the mother to the doctor.
The child does.
Yeah. Now we're gonna give spoilers here. So the child or the doctor is played by Ray Fiennes.
Who's his name? Rafe.
Ralph.
Is it Rafe though?
It used to be.
Okay.
It's changed it over the
Spoiler.
years. Yeah, because we were having arguments about it.
And how do you say his last name?
Fine.
I never knew how to pronounce it.
Fiennes.
Yeah, Fiennes. But here's the thing as well. The mother's in the bed for days, confused.
Yeah.
She goes on the mainland. She doesn't have one episode.
Very.
She's coherent.
Very minor.
She's coherent basically the whole time.
And she's like, I just need an aspirin.
I just need to chill for a minute, lays it down.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so then Ray Fiennes, he he's gone rogue, but they've managed to track him down. Others was just sort of like, we're gonna head
Towards the fire.
Yeah, a northwesterly direction.
Yeah.
It has to be him. So then he's actually pretty well known.
Sound out.
Yeah, he's a lot more sane than they thought. They
Most
thought
people.
he was like a cult leader type person. I think kind of like in Apocalypse Now, Colonel Kurtz. I think that's what they were. That's what I thought he was going to be like.
I also thought that maybe he was going to be like the preacher at the beginning of the film. I thought that's what they were lining up.
Yeah.
That he was going to be like,
This is our Lord. This is our final judgment.
this is the final judgment. You know,
Yeah.
getting rid of all the riffraff.
Yeah. Cleansing the earth.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but that's obviously not what it was.
But yeah, his whole thing is, was it Memoriam,
Memento
Morum, remember the dead. Words to that effect. Remember the dead. So he
Memento Mori.
Sterilizes or he cleanses. Well, how would you describe what he does? Just the process.
He takes the flesh off the body.
Yeah, but he then cooks it to.
He heats it so it comes off easily. So like you know, like you cook a chicken that falls off the bone.
Oh, is that? Cooks it to.
He heats it so it comes off easily. So like you know, like you cook a chicken that falls off the bone.
Oh, is that it?
That's what it is. So the flesh falls off the bone, and then you just rinse it with water so it comes off.
Yeah. So he.
Like a chicken wing, a chicken thigh. He barbecues them.
But he does it for the infected and the non-infected, just the dead. He says.
Does he?
Yeah, that's.
Okay, I thought it was just for not people.
No, because that's what he says. We're all the same. And everyone should be remembered. And he makes these massive skull monuments to remember everyone.
Yeah, very Bone Church in Prague vibes. Oh, it's a church made of human bones.
Oh, okay.
Class. Yeah, very that vibe. So it's a thing that's been done before.
Okay, yeah. But then he does, like he says himself, a rudimentary examination, and he deduces
the child's mother.
Yeah, of Jodie Comer. He deduces she has cancer and it's spread, and pretty much in the world that they live in now, there's nothing that they can do, and it's just gonna get worse and worse. And like he says in it, he said there's different types of death. There's good deaths and there's bad deaths. So this is what, 24 hours? No, 48 hours to get the night over. And then he's like, right, in me oven you go.
Yeah!
And the boy is like, he gets sedated, but he cooks up Jodie Comer, comes back with the skull.
I'm assuming he kills her first.
Yeah, I think he injects her with something, or yeah, I don't think he cooks her alive. And then gives the boy the skull, and he's like, find a nice place for her. So he climbs to the top of the skull mountain and puts her head on top. And he said, that's a beautiful selection. But just he was willing to sacrifice everything to find a cure. And like, doctors aren't great. I'd probably get a second opinion.
in that day and age. But then also as well, so
In
also
this day and age.
also spoilers. The boy was so upset because Aaron Taylor Johnson's character was cheating on his mum while she in the bed, getting all. And then like, oh, she's dead now. Not a tear shed, not one tear shed.
No, I don't think so. It just seemed like a real emotional inconsistency. The
Lack of emotion.
But just that the kid wouldn't rebel and be like, no, there has to be an answer out there.
Yeah, or like,
well, I'll take her to a hospital, or
like, I'm not gonna look at you, doctor, because
you killed my mother.
you killed my mother and you convinced her to kill herself, basically. Just very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Very strange.
Give that man a job in Fort Lee Psychiatric Unit.
Yeah, very. Very, very strange.
Give that man a job in Fort Lee Psychiatric Unit. Lee Psychiatric Unit.
Yeah, very, very, very strange.
Reset that camera. So now on to the next. Underdeveloped themes. Under. Under. Give that man a job in Port Lee Psychiatric Unit. Underdeveloped themes.
Consistent. Very, very inconsistent. Very strange.
Give that man a job in Port Lee Psychiatric Unit. Underdeveloped themes.
Oh, I could still go on about.
Oh, you do more?
I fucking could go on about inconsistencies. Oh no!
Emotional inconsistencies. Is there anything else from the previous?
No, I think. There's probably loads, but I'd say you have them linked up in other places. So I won't.
Do you want to look ahead?
No,
What?
I think you have them linked in.
I
I was going to say about the fact that she has obviously witchy ways with the zombies.
Yeah, that's it. That's an underdeveloped thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's to the next.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. That's probably the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
You can put edited in post.
Yeah. So under the. So. Under
Very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Very strange.
under underdeveloped themes. I heard Mark Commode, the film reviewer.
It's a very unfortunate name.
Commode.
Commode is the shit.
Who's Kermode?
Oh.
And he talk shit.
It's that chair that you sit in and poop in.
Yeah, no murder connection. I hope he watches it. He said it's a movie that has a lot of ideas and isn't afraid to tell you that it has a lot of ideas.
It's gonna be 3 films. Put it into another one.
But I mean, I felt there was just so many themes, or there were a lot of things that just weren't developed. And like you said, if you're gonna make a trilogy, develop it, and you put in like there was religion was completely front and center,
It started the film.
but it still wasn't. There's no relevance to it. It was just there.
Yeah, like say in the first, I wonder is it because in the first film, I can't remember, we didn't watch the second film, we did watch the first film 2 weeks ago before we
The
saw it.
second one, or 28 weeks later,
Yeah,
it might as well, it's like a different universe
Yeah.
because the infection reached mainland Europe. 28 weeks later at the end.
but then does this not go against what,
Yeah, so
This film
it's a
said-
different universe. It's essentially its own movie that's not in this world. You know, like Marvel. No, it was just. No, it was just. They've completely disregarded that.
oh okay. So, what was I saying?
So
Yes,
religion-
in the first film, it's not that it's religious, but Cillian Murphy goes into
the church and not
the
pay
church, and that's kind of the only bit of religion in it, I think. So, like, did they want to pay homage to the first film and mention it? But, like, it's weird that your man would, you know, they started it off with religion as well because they had the church and your man being a priest, your man's father, and then giving the cross. Do you know? So is it
Yeah.
like is he big man into religion, or is it just the religious themes happening in a lot of his other films, or?
Alex Garland or. I'm not. I don't.
Is it just that you would, because of obviously what's going on, you would look to religion?
Yeah, but I mean, the Alpha was called Samson, and then when they returned from the first day, they prayed Delilah. So that's very intentional, Samson and Delilah.
Maybe
From
tell
the
people.
Bible.
Maybe tell people. I won't have a clue about that now.
Yeah, I thought that would be in the lexicon, Samson and Delilah.
No,
No.
I have no idea.
He was just a really big, strong man, and then all his strength was connected to his hair, so his wife cut off his hair in his sleep, and then he became weak. And then, I can't remember when he was captured, but he was captured. But then in the time he spent in prison, his hair grew back and he was strong against wrestling.
Okay. So in the film, the alpha zombie, there's alpha zombies in this film. So they've mutated, I suppose, or just become stronger, so they're kind of working.
They said that the virus has like steroid
Developed.
for certain people.
Yeah. Same as like COVID is worse for people, or
Yeah.
some people can fight against it and be stronger than it, I suppose. Like that's what you look. Or some people are, what's the word?
Yeah, literally this on steroids because like the alphas are like 8 feet tall.
Yeah. And they watch and they think and they're able to like
They
lead,
command.
yeah. So the alpha, big alpha, is called Samson.
But yeah, that's just from the doctors.
Yeah.
And also the bone temple place of
Yeah.
worship.
And you said the song's Delilah in the background, or they're singing the song Delilah in
When they come back.
when they come back, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, his father, kind of, what's the word people do when you tell a story, but kind of embellish the story, because they were running from an alpha, and then the guards ended up killing the alpha because they're harder to kill as well. So he was talking about how the young lad was brilliant and he wasn't.
Billy Big Bollocks here
yeah,
says we're
basically
fighting
doing everything. And then they're singing the song Delilah in between the cutting of him telling the story. So I wouldn't have known that was a religious thing.
Samson.
Possibly,
You
you know.
never heard
No.
Samson Delilah?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not a big Jesus freak.
Big Jesus head.
Big Jesus.
Big Jesus head in you.
Okay, so you thought that it was, but then I wonder, did they not go on with that because some people wouldn't know that, or is it just that it was lazy?
I just mean it.
Why introduce it?
I don't know why there was so much religion in it, but it was front and center, but it wasn't a theme or part of the plot. It just didn't seem relevant or necessary.
Yeah.
It was just there.
Yeah.
Shoved in your face.
Yeah, but then not developed.
Yeah. For no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And then you pointed out when the zombie gives birth.
Piss me right off. Let me get into this now. Okay. But then even to backtrack, I don't know if we should give out about your one like coming to in the middle of the night and like that. Isla, is it Isla?
Yeah.
Her character. Are we talking about character development?
We've gone past it. We can touch it. No, characters.
Oh, we're talking about themes. Okay, so theme. I'll forget about the one I was going to say. But Isla's character and like the subplot, like it could have extended itself. Isla, is it Isla?
Yeah.
Her character. Are we talking about character development? Her character.
No, characters.
Okay, so theme. I'll forget about the one I was going to say. But Isla's character and like the subplot, say.
Yeah.
Her character, but Isla's character and like the subplot, like it could have extended itself for ages and could have worked across. Like it could have, like it. It could have extended itself for ages and could have worked across the trilogies, but then I don't know what their end goal is with the
But
films.
you know that. Sorry, it's not a trilogy. They have to see how well the next one does.
Oh well, they've already released spoilers for the last one.
Well,
They've signed an actor on for the last one.
Well, now it could have changed since, but I saw an interview with Danny Boyle, and he says it's a lady directing the next one,
Yeah.
and he said we'll see how that does, and then if we can make the third.
I think he's good in people. because if he says that, people go, oh, we'll have to see the next one to see, because it's also been leaked that a certain actor is going to be a little bit in the next one. An actor is going to be a been leaked that a certain actor is going to be a little bit is going to be a certain actor is going to be a little bit in the next one, was going to play a big plot in the last one.
One from the end of the 10.
No.
Who?
Cillian Murphy. A little bit in the next one, was going to play a big plot in the last one.
One from the end of this one.
And the last one.
One from the end of this one.
No.
Who?
Cillian Murphy.
Oh,
They
yeah.
said he signed on for the next one, so they said he's going to be involved in the next 2 films.
Yeah.
And they said he's only going to be in the next one maybe a little bit, and then he's going to be in the last one.
Okay.
So I think that'll go with people into making the next one do well. Don't know why Danny Boyle's not. So I think that'll go with people into making the next one do well. Don't know why Danny Boyle's not doing all of them.
Yeah, but like I don't think that. Yeah, but
Boyle's not doing all of them. Don't know why Danny Boyle's not doing all of them.
I don't think that's going to motivate your one to make a better movie. I think it's just about people viewing it.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's not going to make her make a better film. It's just going to make people go and see it. Like I'm going to be like, sure, Cillian Murphy's going to be in it. I'm going to go to it. Obviously.
Cillian Murphy, a handsome woman or a pretty man?
I just think he's beautiful.
Yeah.
I do. I really do.
I saw him in Times of Bad. He is so short.
Yeah, they're all short.
for someone with such presence.
Yeah, but they're all
Yeah,
short.
yeah.
I know this is completely different, but like,
Bobby
you know,
De Niro.
no, but you know what Kardashian said.
Yeah.
So Khloe Kardashian, they always back in the day used to make her out as she's the big one, she's tall and she's heavy, like whatever. She's only like 5'9" if even, and she's the big, tall, freakish one. They're all like 5'2". Yeah, literally, like I think Kim Kardashian's only like 5 foot.
Really?
Yeah, they're tiny. So then when they're saying she's big, gigantic, whatever, you're like, oh, she's only like 5'9" or something. She's only like 5'9" or something. She's only like 5'9" or something, or
Yeah.
like Kendall Jenner's a model, so she's 5'10", 11, maybe even. I don't know. I don't really keep up with the Kardashians. Anyway, so back to Isla. So, what we were saying? Yes. So they introduce her. She's in the bed, and then all of a sudden she's fine. And then there's a moment. She's kind of doddering around the place. I feel like I know she's like obviously sick. And like there's always that sort of character that when there's like a zombie or a vampire or something like that, they always kind of, there is a gentle character who kind of tries to understand them, tries to give them the benefit of the doubt. There is always that character. In anything, always tries to see the good in everything. So we see a zombie who is pregnant.
With child.
With child.
Can I stop there and reset the camera? Child.
With child.
We will shortly be arriving at Salons and an Ace. Please mind the gap.
So, Erin, we
As
find
we
a
were-
zombie with child.
Find a zombie with child. Now, here's how my brain. Here, here's how my,
Salon agus Nos. Salons and an Ace.
here's how my brain worked. Here's how my brain worked. When we saw the zombie with child, I was like, Here's how my brain
With child.
with child. Here's how my brain worked. When we saw the zombie with child, I was like, oh, pregnant
With child.
with child. I was like, oh, so that person must have been pregnant when they got infected.
Yeah.
That was my thought.
Okay.
So they'll forevermore be pregnant. I
But-
assume just dead baby inside them.
And it'll live there.
It'll live there.
Okay.
And until that zombie's dead.
Yeah.
And the baby and zombie will be dead. So then they're on the train trying to run from.
Alpha?
Were they running from Alpha at that point? When they were giving birth? Or were they just going into
Oh no, I
the
think the Alpha arrived.
Well, that's happening.
Yeah, I think.
Yes. Why were they going into the train first? Was there screams?
I think so.
Shouts? Anyway, whatever happened. So they go on the train. And Jodie Comer's character comes across the zombie giving birth. Which I thought was a bit mad.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So then, like, obviously the zombies have been, like, coming up and trying to hurt them and attack them. But, like, then she walks up to the zombie and, like, puts her hands out. The zombie puts her hands together and your wand squeezes out a fresh new baby. Which is fine. But then I was like, oh my god. This is before they met the doctor as well. So
Yeah.
I was like, she must be unwell. Now, I didn't think it was cancer. I thought maybe it was like,
Alzheimer's or
not even
dementia
that, or like just,
fever.
or maybe just like a depressive
yeah,
thing,
episode,
or
yeah.
episodes, or like whatever.
Bipolar
Yeah,
or-
something. So I was like, oh, she isn't a good host.
Yeah.
And this in my head is what. So I was like, she will be able. To communicate with the zombies, or like kind of stand. Because remember, there was another point where there was a zombie behind her, and the someone's like, "Don't move," and shoots at the beginning.
Big.
And they went.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she wasn't very aware of that, because usually they're running up flat out at them. So I was like, oh, and she was able to kill that other one. So I was like, oh, she's able to communicate. Or I was like, she's gonna, and I was
She
like,
can
they're
walk
gonna walk through, and they're gonna use her as like a ways to get supplies, or they're gonna use her as a ways to like
Yeah.
be able to scout out locations, and she's gonna be able to get through different things without. And then sure, once the baby was popped out, she went,
But I don't even like then. That was under interpretation because I don't think she necessarily went for Jodie Comer.
it was the fella, the young lad.
So like.
Yeah.
Like you said, I thought it could have been a good. If you are diseased, like you said, you're not a viable hope.
Yeah.
Which was that's how World War Z. World War Z.
Yeah.
That was the cure for it in the end.
Yes.
He infects himself with a non.
Life-threatening virus.
Or it was something you could get, like.
Hepatitis.
I think it was, yeah. And then he was able to walk through the zombies.
Yes.
The zombies knew. Like
He wasn't a viable host.
Exactly. 'Cause he was infected.
That film obviously stuck in my brain more than I thought it did. World War Z.
But yeah, like.
I feel like it could have really, like that could have been unreal.
Or it could have been explored.
Hugely.
Yeah. And like. That's it. It's just an underdeveloped thing.
Completely underdeveloped. And then I'm like, why introduce that at all?
Well, now, like the doctor said, he said, oh, the mysteries or the healing powers of placenta.
Yes.
So now they're saying either, like you said.
Sorry, the baby was born without zombie infection. The baby was a fresh baby that was free of any disease, rage, virus, blah 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 blah.
Oh, did we talk? I think that was another unbelievable point. The kid returning. The baby to the gates of the commune, completely unnoticed, even though it's under 24-hour surveillance.
They're shit guards.
The pathway. And then they just heard the baby crying. And in that time, he was able to,
Run back.
again, undetected.
But like, sure, the alpha zombie will be able to do that.
Yeah.
Undetected.
It just didn't fit the narrative again.
Yeah, because they were so panicked about people getting on, or getting in, or anything that's coming near the
Yeah,
gate.
they were so paranoid
Yeah.
about it. But you have to be, obviously, because only one has to be
Yeah.
true. But like that, the kid can sneak up
Yeah.
with a baby in a Tesco basket
Yeah.
and hang it up and then escape.
Yeah. But then as well, back to the unbelievable part, or the underdeveloped themes, is that like, the doctor was like healing powers of the placenta, so that obviously the mother's infection didn't spread to the baby. But then I'm like,
Oh, so, go on.
but then I'm like, well, the mother get pregnant before she got infected? Or did the Samson character impregnate a zombie? Are they having sex? Are the zombies having sex?
But that's what you're saying. That was.
We will shortly be arriving at Newbridge.
That's what I heard
Please
people say. It's
mind
like
the
it's
gap.
either
Thank you for travelling with
was she
Here No
pregnant
There.
before she got
Okay.
infected, or now have the zombies evolved, because with their evolution they would start breeding.
Okay.
But then, if the zombies breed and the child is born, the child isn't infected. Because that I'm sure it'll be. No, they'll probably completely disregard all this in the next movie. It'll all be forgotten about.
Yeah. Probably.
Any other? In the next movie, it'll all be forgotten about.
Yeah. Probably.
Any other underdeveloped themes you'd like to mention? What?
Sorry, just reading one of the comments.
What?
Calvin Doyle. Do you know Calvin Doyle?
Yeah, it's Port Arndon.
Oh, hello, Calvin.
Hey, Calvin.
He said, I haven't seen any of them. I'm a real dickhead, I know. I thought you were talking about Babe Pig in the City.
What was the title? 28 years later.
Yeah.
28-year-old pig. Zombie pig.
Yeah, I'd love to see a zombie pig film. Oh! Black Sheep! That's a zombie film.
I haven't seen it.
Oh! It's so good. Anyway.
Bad
Okay.
good or good?
No, Savage good. I've only seen it once. Though,
Comedy.
So,
Were you-
I don't think there's any other. But again, the Doctor. Like that's. But again, the. But. But again, the Doctor.
The next movie will all be forgotten about.
Yeah. But again.
It'll all be forgotten about. I'll be forgotten about.
But again. But again, the Doctor. Like that's a theme. Like he literally was there for 5 minutes.
Sorry, that's another unbelievable point. That he would have survived so long. Because he wasn't killing
Yeah.
zombies. That he lived for 28 years on his own.
Where's he getting all the opium?
Like, I presume he just robbed everything from the pharmacy that he lived
Yeah, but
he
that's not
lived
gonna
in.
last that while. He's there 28 years.
But what? Like,
They go off.
Does it?
Yeah, medicines and shit. Well, big pharma says they go off.
They just put a sell by date on it.
Yeah.
So you have to shift it by.
But like some of the stuff, it loses potency.
But I don't think he's using it all the time, is
He's last for 28 years. You'd have to be using it fucking enough.
he?
What food is he
What do you
living on?
know? Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah, it's quite unbelievable. Or also that he'd let the child. I know he's staying there, but I'm like, go together. Why introduce a character that has so much that you could ask, or tell him to go to the island and be a doctor there?
yeah. I don't know. I think, but I think he said that he's gonna live there because when kid asked him, he's like, oh, what is that bone temple? And he was like, I thought I'd never get asked that question. So he thought I'd never meet another human
Yeah.
again. So I think he's happy
By himself.
But like, I still think it's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
then as well, he has all these hiding places, and then he gets caught when.
Yes, I was just about
And
to
the kid
say.
saves him.
Yeah.
Like, you would have died by now.
The baby didn't cry.
Baby didn't cry through it.
Not once did we hear a baby cry.
Maybe he should have grabbed it by the legs.
It was a newborn baby, and not once did it cry.
Oh, until you wanted it to cry when it was hung up on the gates.
Unbelievable.
Too far-fetched.
Yeah.
Too far-fetched for a zombie film.
For one that was so realistic for the first one.
Yeah, believable.
That's what's killing
within
me.
Its, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what.
Yeah. Believable.
That's what's killing
within
me.
Its, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Drink your water, release. I have a problem with big Hollywood.
Okay.
Okay.
Hollywood. Exactly.
Yeah. Drink your water, release. I have a problem with big Hollywood.
Okay.
Okay.
Hollywood productions. Go on.
Aaron Taylor Johnson in it.
Yeah.
He's kind of a big name.
Yeah.
Ish name.
Yeah. No.
And like. Like that. Ralph Fiennes. We know he was going to be in it. We did.
Yeah. He was in the trailer.
Again, another bigish name. Jodie
Oh.
Comer. Bigish name. Big, really big name. But like Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's in the beginning and then wasn't in it at all.
He's in the first half.
Again, I feel like they're goading us. I feel like it's like, oh, we're gonna. But I'm like, anyone could have played that character.
Kildare. Please mind
Yeah.
the gap.
Like,
Thank you for
they
travelling
say for the
with your
boy, they got
mother.
an unknown.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you could have gotten an unknown for the dad character. I feel like.
But they do that too, so there's a name on the poster, so you will see it. 'Cause
Yeah.
people will watch it just for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, same for Ralph Fiennes as well.
Yeah.
I just feel like you had such big characters and didn't do much with them. Such big names, such good actors.
But that's what I felt. All the performances were good.
Yeah, they were good.
It just wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I think I've thought that for a lot of movies,
Yeah.
especially recent. That was one of my criticisms about the Phoenician Scheme. Like, the performances were all great. It just wasn't great. The script wasn't great.
Yeah. I know. See, I think we're just oversaturated with films, so that Conspired one, Alpha's. I think we're just oversaturated.
Great. The script wasn't
Yeah.
great. Performances were all great. It just wasn't great. The script wasn't great.
Yeah. I know. See, I think we're just oversaturated with films, so that Conspired one, Alpha's not needed. They ruined the rage virus. We'll get onto that. Yeah, all performances were really good.
Kildare.
It just wasn't great.
Yeah, all performances were really good. I think Jodie Comer was very good.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Young Lad was very
it's
good.
very hard lying in the bed all the time.
You know.
I do think the person who played the Alpha was very good, like the physicality of it and stuff like that. And I do think
I thought it was Jason Momoa.
shout out to all the people playing zombies as well, because their performances
zombies in the myth.
like run around, like just the way they move and run around the place. I just think like that's very, like I'd say that's hard.
It'd be exhausting.
But also just to like look like you're fucking off your head with, do you know what I mean? That you're subhuman. You're not actually.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's, you know,
Yeah.
it's very, because obviously they don't have speaking parts. It's a very physical. It's physical acting. It's not like. It's very easy to say stuff and sound like you mean it.
But and as well, you don't have the range to like show emotion with your face.
No.
Because you're.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think it's very good. I did like. I know here because if. I did like. I know here because if you haven't seen it, watch The Sadness if you haven't seen it. Interesting. Put that on the list. I don't know. The inspired one said watch The Sadness. I'm assuming it's a zombie film, maybe. But we'll see. I know what you mean by alpha's not needed, but I did like the fact that we've seen that the virus has developed
Yeah.
in
And-
some way. I do think it's very good. I did like. I know it. I think it's very good. I do think it's very good. I know what you mean by alpha's not needed, but I did like the fact that we've seen that the virus has developed
Yeah.
in
And-
some way.
Like it's like I said earlier. Well, Mr. Toilet said.
Yeah.
It has a lot of ideas, and it's not afraid to tell you it has ideas.
Yeah.
Like that the alpha is an evolution.
Yes.
It's a stylistic choice, or it's a theme, or you know,
Mm.
instead of it just being a continuation of 28 Days Later,
Yeah. Yeah.
where they're just thrashing around.
Yeah.
I guess, well, like we know from COVID, the virus would mutate,
Yeah.
develop.
Yeah.
From COVID, the virus would mutate,
Yeah.
develop.
Yeah.
So, but I thought just with the characters and the performances, like you said, Aaron Taylor Johnson was front and characters and the from COVID, the virus would mutate.
Yeah.
Develop.
Yeah.
So, but I thought, with the characters. Thrashing around.
Yeah.
I guess, well, like we know from COVID, the virus would mutate.
Yeah.
The characters, the
The
performances, like you said, Aaron Taylor Johnson was front and centre as being a main character, and then just completely sidelined, and then the mother is, and then she's out of it. And then the kid is, I guess. Just,
Please mind the gap.
just lack
Thank you for travelling
depth.
with
Yeah. And then like that, the introduction of, is it Eric?
Yeah.
So he was doing a patrol off the side of England. Obviously,
Coast Guard.
yeah. So
to
they,
make sure they're quarantined.
yeah. So they were still. There's people from mainland Europe and the rest of the world making sure that England is still quarantined. So the rest of the world has continued on in the 28 years.
Yeah.
That the virus has been there.
Is he
So then
Danish?
they're Danish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they're
They got shipwrecked.
shipwrecked, and then they go into mainland. And once you're on the mainland, you're forgotten about forever and evermore.
Yeah.
So then he's introduced. So like he's an iPhone.
Yeah.
He talks about like stuff that's happening, because obviously he's up to date with all the bits and bobs, and it is kind of a nice introduction to see that okay, so everything is basically the same in the rest of the
real
world.
world,
Yeah,
yeah.
the real world is our real world, I suppose. But then get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? Like he again was introduced and then gotten rid of.
But as well, he's a trained soldier. Oh, gone.
Yeah.
Whereas
Also,
confused mother and a 12-year-old child who's been on the mainland for one day.
yeah,
Cancer
and also feel like I just don't know. I feel like if that happened, would they quarantine the whole place? Would they not try and get survivors? If the rest of the world was going on? Suppose.
There's enough people in the world.
Yeah, very true.
They'd like kill them all off.
I suppose it also shows the.
Well, I suppose it is very much a comment on. Well,
Yeah.
I have it in later, but COVID and,
Yeah.
and Brexit as well.
Yeah.
When COVID happened, locked down all the borders,
Yeah, very true.
which essentially is what this is a virus that rapidly spreads
Mm.
and mutates, is very contagious, and is what's the word? Terminal.
Mm.
Terminal.
Just dead
Malicious.
sentence,
Yeah.
basically.
And then also I thought it was like another unexplored theme, that it was maybe a mirror of Brexit, of Britain being cast aside outside of Europe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I never really thought about that.
No?
No.
I did straight away.
Can't. Yeah, no, my brain didn't go that way.
There's geopolitics of it.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the characters and performances?
Um.
Straight away.
Can't. Yeah, no, my brain didn't go that way.
There's geopolitics of it.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the characters and performances?
Yeah, as you said, Aaron Taylor Johnson set up as a lead and then gotten rid of. Jodie Comer again. Gained focus. I just feel like all the characters were introduced. And you're like, oh, I can't wait to see how that develops. And as soon
Characters and performances?
yeah, as you said, Aaron Taylor Johnson set up as a lead and then gotten rid of.
There's geopolitics of it. There's geopolitics of it. Are you happy with the characters and performances?
Yeah, as you said, Aaron Taylor Johnson set up as a lead and then gotten rid of. Jodie Comer again. Gained focus. I just feel like all the characters were introduced. And you're like, oh, I can't wait to see how that develops. And as soon as you were like looking forward to seeing how that character develops, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if it left Jodie in the bed and it had been a full movie of the father and son.
Yeah, that would have possibly been good. But then I suppose you have to look at it then. The fella seeing his father's infidelity was the kind of turning point for him to go, fuck this, we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
My father's lied to me
Yeah.
about loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as bad as he thinks.
What do you think that was?
A little bit. And then, are we talking about the introduction of the character at the end?
I'm gonna look that later on.
Okay, perfect. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as bad as he thinks.
What do you think that was?
A little bit. And then, are we talking about the character again?
I can look that.
But yeah, the kid. I know what you mean about the kid being. A little bit. I know. A little bit. I know what you mean about the kid being weird. I don't know what you mean about the God of War and the game and stuff like that. But there was something. Watching it, I don't feel like I really loved that child.